What's up guys, and welcome back to the Ultimate Career. Yes, we are back today for a double episode, as I mentioned in the mid-season review. We've got the Italian Grand Prix and the Singapore Grand Prix for you guys today. And as you can see on your screen now, we are currently leading the Drivers' Championship as we go into the final part of the season. Drop a like down below if you're excited to see the return of the Ultimate Career, and make sure to share it with any of your friends that you think may be interested in this series as we get into the end of Season 3 now. So, yeah, like I say, we're leading the Drivers' Championship from Lewis Hamilton by 32 points. As we're, nearing the Asian part of the season now, and we'll actually get into that in today's race. And currently Williams sitting in third place in the constructor standings. We're hoping to improve on that today. But yeah, as I said in the mid-season review, the rest of the races for this season are going to be double episodes. I hope you guys enjoy. And without any further ado, let's get in now to the Italian Grand Prix. So qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix has always been imperative around this historic Monza circuit, because although it is a high-speed circuit, overtaking is very difficult. But now we're jumping into Q3 in fact, and as you can see, we're going pretty reasonably well through the first sector, not too great, but actually through the second sector we lost a hell of a lot of time to Felipe Massa, and we are currently outside of the top 10. The time that we need, and we actually only managed to go 17th fastest on that lap. We did manage to improve, but again, it's only 16th place, and that is 2 races in a row where we failed to make it into Q3. And there you can see the top 10. So it's Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber on the front row, with our main championship rival Lewis Hamilton in third position. So at the moment it looks as if he's going to be making up a lot of ground on us. And well, Pastor Maldonado, as you can see there, actually did manage to make it into Q3, so yeah, very, very disappointing there. But as we know, we can make up as many positions as we can in the race. This is it, race day for the Italian Grand Prix, one of the most historic tracks on the calendar, and we're going now to the 5 red lights, starting in 16th, and it is 5 red lights now, and away we go, trying to get as many positions as we can off the line. It's a very good start, in fact, but now Paul di Resta are actually starting to pull away, so it was a good initial start, but the second phase wasn't too good. But now going into turn 1, we're going to try and make up as many positions as possible. But as we know from this turn 1 at Monza, you just got to try and pick your way through and not lose your front wing, as we actually tap Paul di Resta there, but do manage to just about get past him, using a little bit of our curves to get past the Scotsman. And we're up into 14th as Kimi Räikkönen actually gets a very poor run out of there, trying to go around the outside, but he's completely blocked it off. So we're going to have to go down the inside and then switch to what will now be the inside, going into the second variante, and going around the outside of Kimi Räikkönen up into P13. So a reasonably good start, but still not in the points. And now skipping towards midway through lap 1, and there's a 3-way fight going on up ahead of us, and we just sort of back off because we think, well, surely they can't all get through there cleanly, and sure enough, we are proved correct. And Grosjean and Kobayashi, they just go for, I don't know what they were doing, but anyway, we're up into P11, and now on lap 4, there's been some rain falling at various points in the circuit. You can see it's very patchy around, so we're currently trying to just sort of tiptoe our way around, and there is a massive crash in front of us. We had to brake and go across the grass just to, avoid that crash, and we'll get a replay of it now in slow motion. So as you can see, we're coming through the Ascari chicane, and there's just a massive pile-up, so we see it, and that Mercedes, we somehow avoid, slam on the brakes, in fact go through some of the gravel, and it was Jenson Button who actually caused that, and somehow we managed to fluke our way up into 6th position. So we're now on lap 5, and the rain is actually getting a little bit heavier, and we don't want to be touching the curbs like that. And as you can see, it just throws us off. We had to, do the opposite lock, and well, as a result of that, we've actually lost 1 and now 2 positions. So our teammate and Romain Grosjean get ahead of us, but we do manage to stay ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. And at the end of the lap, we decide enough is enough. We're going to go on to the intermediate tyres. So yeah, coming into the pit lane now, and we're going to lose a few positions, but I do believe this is the best tyre to be on at this stage in the race. So exiting the pit lane now. And there's Charles Pic, Narain Karthikeyan and Pedro De La Rosa all getting past us. But now going into turn 1, we just sort of try and pick our way through. And yes, we do manage to get past a couple of them, and then eventually past Charles Pic. And at the end of lap 6, this is when the scheduled stops were meant to start, but in fact everybody was actually fitting the intermediate tyres, so we'd made the call 1 lap early, and that is Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, we don't gain any time, but neither do we lose any time. So yeah, not a lot really happened in that phase. But by lap 7, the rain had died down. And at this point, it was looking like a bad call by everyone in the field to go into the intermediates. So strangely, 1 lap later, all of the AI pitted once again for dry tyres this time. So yeah, pretty bizarre. But as a result, we were up into P1. We decided to go a lap longer because there were still quite a few damp patches on the track. And you can see Vettel there on the mini-map. We do actually manage to extend the lead. So yeah, staying that extra lap on the intermediate tyres, obviously ours being up to temperature, just yeah, it was looking as if it had paid off. So going into the pit lane now for our second stop of the afternoon. Obviously this is only a 25% race, as will the Singapore Grand Prix. That will also be 25%. But yeah, exiting the pits now on lap 9, and we are currently in P6. Near Grosjean and Maldonado, the 2 drivers who we lost positions to when we went off at Ascari, but we actually managed to outbrake ourselves and lock our brakes at turn 1. They're just too cold to be operating at the moment, and Grosjean in fact gets past us, and we are just completely helpless and just can't get past him. And yeah, he goes off into the distance, and to be honest, for the rest of the race we were struggling for tyre temperature. And now you can see on lap 13, our teammate is trying to have a go at us. I mean, I don't know whether it was our setup that was meaning that we just couldn't generate the temperature in the tyres. But yeah, we actually managed to go back around the outside of Maldonado, and that's a very, very good move that we make round the outside. But now, as we go on to into the final sector of the race towards the Ascari chicane, Maldonado makes another move, but he's on the wet line now, so he's going to have no grip whatsoever. We go wheel to wheel, and he goes over the curb, and he's spun, and he's gone into us. And well, the Frank Williams and Claire Williams are not going to be happy with Pastor Maldonado. And as you take a look on the replay, he's just tried to take too much curb and has cost Williams valuable points. That's 10 points in the championship. Luckily, we managed to maintain P8, but Daniel Ricciardo has managed to get in front of us, and there is going to be no points whatsoever for Pastor Maldonado today. We take P8, which in the grand scheme of things, I suppose, isn't too bad. But, well, as our rival Lewis Hamilton takes the win in this Grand Prix, we have lost valuable ground in the Drivers' Championship. So there you can see Hamilton, Vettel and Webber make up the podium, with Perez and Schumacher putting in very good showings, and P6 for Grosjean, very well deserved for him. There you can see we're only in P8, and our teammate, well, he could have been walking away with 6 points, but instead he's just walking away with another couple of penalty points on his licence. So yeah, not good for him. But there you can see we are still leading the Drivers' Championship by 11 points, but that gap has been drastically cut at the top. And yeah, in the Constructors' standings, there's a good battle going on between Red Bull and McLaren, just 1 point in it, and we are a further 71 behind. And there you can see in the first race of today's episode, it could have been a lot worse. It could also have been a lot better, but we do manage to make up 8 places in the race to at least take some points home. So yeah, very much damage limitation in this race. Let's see how we can get on now in Singapore. Yes, you would have been able to see there that we are going straight into Q3, which can only be a good thing, because, well, for the first time since Hungary, we make it into Q3, and we are purple through the first sector, so fighting for pole position. We've replaced the engine for the Singapore Grand Prix. We've still got a few left, but there you can see we just make contact with the barrier. That must have lost us at least 3/4 of a second, and we were purple through sector 1, and we are, we're 3/4 of a second down after sector 2. Let's see where that can get us as we come across the line. Maybe take a little bit too much curve, but we come across the line now for P5, and as you can see, we are within 3/4 of a second, so that mistake was vital. And once again, Lewis Hamilton is on pole. Let's see what we can do in the race. Here we are then, race number 2 of today's episode. Can we restrict the damage once again in the championship as we go to 5 red lights? And away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix, and we get a pretty decent start, it has to be said, but just not good enough to make any inroads on the cars ahead. Vettel makes a move on Button, and there's Mark Webber down the inside, as we are just squeezed out into turn 1, as we now come out of turn 3, and have we got past Button? I think we have. We're running side by side now, as we come towards the right-hander, which leads onto the main straight on this circuit, and where DRS will be enabled. We do get past Button, and Vettel gets stuck behind Fernando Alonso, so that was an easy position for us. Up now into a podium position, and Alonso's taking a look down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Can we go around the outside of Alonso? No, he blocks us off very well, and we do manage to now get a run on him going into the next corner, but he takes the defensive line now into this very tight middle sector where it's difficult to make an overtake. And now towards the end of lap 2, and as you can see, we've actually got the pace today, which is that's a bonus, it has to be said. So yeah, managing to keep with the top 3. And, well, we do manage to now get DRS on Fernando Alonso on lap 3. But as you can see, it's just not enough. Even though we've got a fresh engine in the car, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's just not enough to really be making any inroads. Once again, on lap 4, the same happens. But Alonso brakes very early. And at this point, I'm starting to think, has he got some sort of brake issue or brake overheating? Because he's braking so early for the corners at the moment, and he's just very tentative, at which point Lewis Hamilton is getting away, so we make a diving move down the inside on lap 4. We think, you know, we've got to go for this move if we want any shot at the race win. Very nice move down the inside of Fernando Alonso, and at this point we are completely in the groove, as you can see, going purple on lap 5, and the gap to Hamilton is 1.4 seconds, but on lap 6 we just push a little bit too hard. Fortunately though, this is the lap where we're coming in to make our pit stop, so we're only going to lose a couple of seconds as a result. But yeah, still disappointing. You know, we're pushing the limits, trying to catch Lewis Hamilton, and we just pushed a little bit too far there. But now going into the pit lane for our first and hopefully only stop of the day, going down into lean mix and into our pit box. But yeah, it's definitely refreshing to have some sort of pace in this race to try and take a Grand Prix victory. I can't even remember the last time which we actually had, you know, good pace in qualifying and in the race. So, yeah, our team replaced our front wing, so it's a 5.8 second pit stop, so we probably lose about 2 seconds, but luckily we do manage to get out ahead of Alonso. So, yeah, no real damage done. And hopefully, as our tyres will sort of be up to temperature a lap earlier than Hamilton's, we may be able to make some inroads on his lead. So, yeah, coming out in P7, which should turn, and does turn, into P2, as Hamilton comes out of the pit lane. And as you can see, we haven't really lost any time whatsoever, so yeah, once again, it's a case of what could have been if we hadn't have lost our front wing. But on lap 9 now, we actually managed to get within DRS range of Lewis Hamilton. But just like with Fernando Alonso, the DRS just isn't powerful enough for us around this circuit. Obviously, it is very difficult to overtake round here at the best of times, but we are within half a second of Lewis Hamilton as we go into the final stages of this race. Now, and the back end on Hamilton's car kicks out there, but it's just way too narrow to be able to make a move on this circuit. Going through the Singapore sling now on lap 11, we are once again pushing the limits, and the curbs on this circuit, if you push too far, are so punishing. And yeah, that pretty much thwarted our sort of charge for the win, I guess. And as you can see, Hamilton just got away. We were more than happy to settle for P2, and as you can see, 18 points in the bag. Unfortunately though, Lewis Hamilton makes up another 7 points on us, and yeah, no more points for Pastor Maldonado, so a couple of barren races for him. He finished in P11, but yeah, here you can see on the race results, we were 6 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. Although, look at our fastest lap. We were 0.6 of a second quicker than the other couple of guys that we were sharing the podium with, and a full second quicker than pretty much everyone else on the racetrack. So, yeah, not a good day for Sergio Perez, down in 22nd place. He had a couple of penalties, not quite sure what for, but yeah, a 4-point lead is what we're taking into next episode, which I believe is the Japanese and Korean Grand Prix. So yeah, Mark Webber is 36 points behind, so he's not out of this title quite yet. And McLaren take the lead in the Constructors' Championship. And yeah, not a good day for the Williams team as we lose yet more points in that battle. But wow, what an episode it's been, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've most certainly enjoyed being back. and I can guarantee that the gap between episodes won't be as great from now on. So yeah, I'll be back. I'll see you guys next week for another episode of The Ultimate Career. Make sure to leave a like down below if you have enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Take care.